Well, thank you everyone for being here with us. Before we begin, let me make some announcements. I can see there are people coming in now. Please do take your seats according to the seating arrangements. And of course, please do check your cell phones to see if you have set them into silent mode. Please set your cell phones to either vibrate mode or silent mode. We will be beginning very soon, so please take your seats. Thank you very much. All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin our joint opening ceremony, so it would be appreciated if you all take your seats. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us at this early morning. As we are about to begin, please take your seats. 모두 착석하시는 대로 저희 통합개막식 시작하도록 하겠습니다. Distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Startup Day in Jeju. My name is Jie, and I've been given the honor of serving you as the MC today for this joint opening ceremony. Well, we under the vision of One Way, the future of global K-startup as one, we are here to participate in Ministry of SMEs and Startup of Republic of Korea's signature programs, which is the Challenge K-Startup 2025, Grand Challenge, and Global Venture Investment Summit. Well, this is going to be a platform where we vividly showcase our goals and also the power of connection of the K-startups to advance into the global market at the APAC 2025 Jeju stage. And also in the lobby outside this hall, we have the K-Startup Street, which is an exhibition of the K-Startups journey for the future. So please make sure to make a visit and have a conversation with our lovely K-Startup Street. So, having said that, we're going to now officially kick off the joint opening ceremony. Before we begin, we're going to stand up to have the national ceremony. 먼저 행사 시작에 앞서서 국민의례가 있겠습니다. 모두 일어나셔서 앞에 있는 화면을 향해 서주시기를 바랍니다. 국기 대하여 경례.
나는 자랑스러운 태극기 앞에 자유롭고 정의로운 대한민국의 무궁한 영광을 위하여 충성을 다할 것을 굳게 다짐합니다.
바로 이하 의례는 생략하겠습니다. 모두 자리에 착석해 주십시오. You may now take your seat. 네, 글로벌 스타트업 데이 in 제주 함께 이제 시작을 하도록 하겠습니다. Now we're going to officially begin the joint opening ceremony of the Global Startup Day in Jeju. Are you all excited to begin our program here today? Yes? Then can I hear some big round of applause? Yes, thank you. I like to see some big smiles on your faces as we begin. And before we begin, of course, there are some dignitaries that has to be acknowledged for their presence. So they're going to stand and be greeted. And as they stand and say hello, please give them a big round of applause. Now, first of all, it's my honor to introduce Mr. Im Jong-uk, the Director General of Startup and Venture Innovation Office of Ministry of SMEs and Startup of Republic of Korea. Welcome. And also, we're joined by Mr. Yoo Jong-pil, the President of Korea Institute of Startup and Entrepreneurship Development. Welcome. And for all of us here in this room, please give a big round of applause. Welcome. Yes, we have the representatives from the APAC member of economies, as well as the global startups and the investors joining us today. Thank you very much for being here with us. Your presence really, truly means a lot to us. Now, to celebrate this occasion together, the Minister of SMEs and Startups of Republic of Korea, Ms. Han Sung-suk, has sent us a video, the congratulatory remarks. So let us watch it through the screen.
여러분 안녕하세요. 중소벤처기업부 장관 한성숙입니다. 존경하는 내외 기빈 여러분, 전 세계에서 모인 혁신 창업가 여러분, 아름다운 제주 에이펙과 함께하는 글로벌 스타트업 데이 개막식에서 만나 뵙게 되어 대단히 반갑습니다. 먼 길을 마다하지 않고 참석해 주셔서 진심으로 감사드립니다. 그리고 오늘 이 자리를 준비해 주신 모든 관계자분들께도 깊은 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 세계 경제는 지금 거대한 전환점을 맞이하고 있습니다. 인공지능과 디지털 혁신, 친환경 전환과 지속 가능한 성장의 요구는 과거 그 어느 때보다도 빠르게 우리의 삶과 산업을 변화시키고 있습니다. 바로 그 변화의 최전선에 스타트업이 있습니다. 스타트업은 단순히 기업을 만드는 것을 넘어 기술과 사람, 문화를 연결하고 세계를 새롭게 만들어가는 주역입니다. 여러분의 한 걸음이 새로운 시장을 열고 여러분의 도전이 내일의 표준이 될 것입니다. 대한민국 정부 그리고 중소벤처기업부는 이러한 혁신의 여정을 함께하는 든든한 동반자가 되고자 합니다. 에이펙 회원국과의 긴밀한 협력 속에서 국경 없는 창업 생태계를 구축하여 기술과 자본, 인재들이 활발하게 오가는 글로벌 네트워크를 실현하고자 합니다. 이곳 제주에서의 만남이 새로운 기업과 새로운 기술, 새로운 미래를 여는 출발점이 되기를 바랍니다. 여러분의 끝없는 도전과 협력 그리고 혁신이 우리의 더 나은 미래를 만들 것입니다. 감사합니다.
Yes, thank you very much, Minister, for sending us your words of encouragement. As she have mentioned, with the strong support by the Korean government, our startups can dream bigger and step onto the global stage. And now, taking over the congratulation, we are going to proceed to this opening ceremony in earnest. Today's joint open ceremony will be made even more special with the help of our AI host, Hannah. Well, we're going to meet her now. So, Hannah, would you like to say hello?
Hello, I am Hana, the voice guiding the path of innovation. My name symbolizes the connection between K-startups and the global entrepreneurial ecosystem, driving global innovation. It's a great pleasure to begin this journey of Global Startup Day in Jeju with all of you today. As the global entrepreneurial ecosystem and K-startups come together, a new era of innovation begins. On this path, we will explore uncharted territories, turn the impossible into the possible, and together we will walk toward innovations that will change humanity's life. The beautiful island of Jeju has long been a symbol of peace and exchange. Here in Jeju, where the APEC SME Ministers Meeting is being held, the global entrepreneurial ecosystem will join hands with K-startups, and together we will embark on a journey of mutual growth and collaboration. Beyond the future of K-startups, a new path opens through deep connections with the global entrepreneurial ecosystem, spreading innovation to every corner of the world. Through today's integrated opening ceremony, the three special events we've gathered here will shine a light on a common goal, illuminating the path of innovation and growth. Just as different forces come together to create a greater path, the global entrepreneurial ecosystem and K-startups will generate synergies together. Now, K-startups, connected to the global ecosystem, will open a new chapter in this journey of challenge. So let's open the door to the future of K-startups and the global entrepreneurial ecosystem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, are you now ready to open the door for the future of the K-startups? I don't hear you. Are you ready to open the door? Then we're going to count down 5 to 1 together. And as we count down, the dignitaries are going to point their laser to the center in order to open the door. So let's do this. Let's open the door together. On the count of 4. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The path is now open as K-startups connect with the world and move forward into the global entrepreneurial ecosystem. Thank you for your attention, and this has been your guide, Hana.
Yes, please give a big round of applause. With that, the Global Startup Day in Jeju has finally kicked off. Thank you very much for joining us for this ceremony, and another thank you to Hannah for guiding us through the ceremony. Well, with this, we are going to continue to leap forward in order for the innovations and the global journey of the K-startups. And now with that, we're going to spare the moment to take some photos together by inviting our distinguished guests on the stage. So the distinguished guests at the head table, can you join us on the table, on the stage for a photo session? Yes, we're going to take the photo for a while. Yes, we're going to welcome Mr. Im Jong-uk and also Mr. Yoo Jong-pil And we also have from the K Challenge, Mr. Kim In-chul and Gulchel, and from the Venture Capitals. We're going to have you to take a photo together. So thank you, all the dignitaries, for joining us. And now, as we are to take a photo, please look at our camera in the center and put on your biggest smile for our bright future ahead of the global startups. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And why don't we take another one by clapping our hands to congratulate the opening. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the promising future of the global startups. Thank you. 네, 위에 계신 분들도 같이 박수 치면서 사진 한 장 남기도록 하겠습니다. Why don't we leave one photo clapping our hands together? Yes, thank you very much. And we're going to take one more. 저희 이제 좀 색다르게 사진 촬영해 볼 텐데요. 하단하셔서 이 스크린을 보고 이제 화면을 보시면서 서주시면 되겠습니다. 하단하셔서 이제 무대를 바라보고 서서 함께 저희 참가자분들과 사진 남기도록 하겠습니다. Moving on, we're going to have group photo. We're going to have everyone in the photo. So this is kind of a photo that the K-pop idols take nowadays. So now, make sure your face will be seen. We have our cameras right here. So first one, always official. So be chic. And as the camera zooms out, we're going to take the first photo. 자, 그럼 첫 번째 사진 정자세로 촬영하겠습니다. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And as for the second photo, why don't we show some big hearts? Like put your big heart. Yes. 네, 앞에 계신 분들은 이렇게 K 하트 해주시면 되겠습니다. For those of you at the front, you can do the small K heart. 네, 뒤에 보시면 하트 이렇게 보여주시고요. For our affection towards the K-pop, K startup culture. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. This will be all for our photo session. You can now go back to your seats. Why don't we give a big round of applause? Yes, just like the photo that has been taken today, we truly hope that the journey of our startups will continue to shine brightly. Yes, now we're going to move on to hear directly from the Ministry of SMEs and Startups of Republic of Korea to share about the government's support and their vision to help our startups proceed to the global stage. So why don't we welcome the dignitary from the Ministry of SMEs and Startups of Republic of Korea to guide us on the policies as well. So let's welcome him with a big round of applause. Yes, we will be able to see the upcoming policies for the startups and the ventures. So, with that, we're going to start our presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I would like to introduce the Korean startup ecosystem and the government's comprehensive support policies. Korea's startup scene is rapidly evolving, fueled by innovation, strong infrastructure, and bold entrepreneurs. Our vision is clear: K-startup pioneering the future. Korea's startup ecosystem has developed alongside major shifts in the national economy. In the past, growth was led primarily by large corporations. But today, startups are emerging as key drivers of new growth, particularly in the context of fourth industrial revolution. Our policy framework has evolved accordingly, placing a stronger emphasis on innovation, global competitiveness, and resilience. Over the years, the government has consistently introduced policies to strengthen the startup ecosystem. Beginning with the Venture Support Act in 1997, the creation of the Fund of Fund in 2005, and the establishment of local hubs in 2014, we have built a robust institutional framework. More recently, the Venture Investment Act in 2020 and the Deep Tech Incubator Project have marked significant milestones for our ecosystem. Korea offers a strong foundation for startups, excellent talent, world-leading tech companies like Samsung, Hyundai, LG, and advanced digital infrastructure. Cloud adoption is high. Universities produce top STEM graduates, and we invest over $2.5 billion annually in startups. These factors strengthen Korea's position as a global leader of innovation. Our government startup support budget has increased by more than 570% over the past decade. In 2025 alone, the budget is expected to reach approximately $2.5 billion. This steady growth reflects the government's strong and ongoing commitment to nurturing startups. Korea now ranks 5th in the world in venture investment, alongside US, China, UK, and India. Over the past decade, the total investment volume has grown nearly fivefold, surpassing $9 billion. This underscores the increasing attractiveness and competitiveness of Korea's startup ecosystem on the global stage. As of July 2025, Korea is home to 14 unicorn startups. These companies illustrate the strength and dynamism of our startup ecosystem, as well as the government's capacity to foster high-potential ventures. Korean startups are also gaining increasing global recognition. At CES, 147 Korean startups have received innovation awards, positioning Seoul among the world's leading startup ecosystems. According to international rankings, Korea currently ranks the 8th. To further accelerate growth, we have established the Startup Comprehensive Plan running from 2024 to 2027. Its key objectives are to elevate Korea as one of the world's top 5 entrepreneur nations, nurture more unicorns, expand both domestic and global investment, and strengthen regional startup ecosystems. Our policies focus on 5 major areas: supporting deep tech startups, fostering public-private corporations, promoting global expansion, developing regional ecosystems, and strengthening the foundation of sustainable growth. Together, these policies form a holistic framework for startup success. We are currently supporting more than 1,000 deep tech startups in fields such as AI, biotechnology, and robotics. Initiatives like Deep Tech Incubator Project, K-Deep Tech Town, and AI startup programs are designed to help entrepreneurs transform cutting-edge technologies into global businesses. Korea is fostering strong partnerships between startups and large corporations. Programs such as Deep Tech Value Up Program and Open Innovation Initiative support startups in scaling more rapidly by connecting them with global companies, lowering costs, and accelerating commercialization. To support global expansion, we operate global TIPS, K-Startup Centers, and global startup hubs in key markets. We also offer special visas for foreign entrepreneurs, legal advisory services, and acceleration programs to help startups successfully enter global markets. Korea also welcomes international founders. Through the Startup Korea Special Visa and Global Startup Centers, we provide comprehensive support from visa consultation and business setup to corporate partnerships and global networking. Our aim is to establish Korea as a truly global startup hub. To ensure balanced growth, we are strengthening regional ecosystems with 17 local startup hubs, startup universities, and specialized programs. We support young entrepreneurs, researchers, and local talent to foster innovation across the country. Finally, we offer tailored support at every stage of growth. From early-stage discovery programs like K-Challenge, K-Startup, to Funds of Funds, Unicorn Academies, and the Global Festival Come Up, we ensure that startups receive the appropriate support at the right time. Built on strong foundations, progressive policies, and global ambitions, Korea's startup ecosystem stands ready for future growth. We look forward to working hand in hand with entrepreneurs, investors, and partners worldwide to pioneer the future together through K-Startup. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for introducing us the upcoming policies for startups and venture capitals here from the Ministry of SMEs and Startups of Republic of Korea. So let's pioneer the future together. And now moving on, we have a special speech prepared for you. Actually, this is someone who came to Korea to take on the challenge of the entrepreneurship and is truly walking on that journey. So she is the founder of the unique brand called Hangul Snack and has been fostering a community that really connects Korea with the wider world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ms. Nidhi Agrawal with a big round of applause.
There are so many people over here, I'm kind of feeling a little bit nervous. So my voice might, but you have to understand, okay? I'm Nidhi Agrawal, nice to meet you all, and thank you for having me here. Today, I was asked to talk about the brand that I was co-founding with one of my co-founder, Calphabets. We call it Hangul Khwaja, but in English it's Calphabets. But we also wanted to talk about what we learned while we were doing this for the last 2 years. So before I start, I want to ask you a couple of questions. I want you to think which brand comes to your mind, the first brand that comes to your mind when you think of mobile phones. Just think about it. Then which brand comes to your mind when you think of sports brand, any sports brand? Then coffee. And the last one is for maybe language, learning languages. I ask this question for every one of my student classes whenever I do any lectures in the schools, and the answer, 60 to 70% of time, is the similar ones. You might already know, for mobile phones, it's always Apple. For sports brand, the first brand that comes to their mind is Nike. Then for coffee, yes, for coffee, it's Starbucks. And for learning languages, maybe not in Korea, but globally, Duolingo. So, but the interesting thing is, are these the only brands which are there in these industries? For mobile phones, Apple is the only brand? No, there are so many other brands. Coffees, there are thousands of coffee brands, but why do we think of only these brands? The first brand that comes to your mind, why are these brands which came to your mind? The answer that we found is simple, that they don't sell the product. They never sell the product, they sell a story, they sell an experience, they also sell like feelings, what you feel when you be in their space. So for Apple, it's status, it's creativity. For Nike, we all know it's just do it, just empowerment. You can do it and we will be with you. Duolingo, it's fun, you can learn language, any language can be simple, and the same for Starbucks, it's a community. All Starbucks cafes, whenever you go, it makes you feel like the same feeling that you have in the Starbucks right next door. So, if you don't have that, you are going to get replaced. That's what we found. Like when you go to a convenience store, you see so many brands out there. If you are just selling the product, the high chances are you will be replaced. Why? Let's think about it. So when you are successful, what is the next day, what thing can happen? What can happen the next day? Somebody else will be better at it. They would bring the product cheaper, or they might do it a little bit slightly better. You can never think like, there are so many people in the world, when they see a product which is selling, which is making money, they would try to make it a little bit better, faster, or at better quality. So if you are not selling a story, if you are not selling a feeling or experience, then you will be replaced. You would have a copy. And that was the baseline when we were starting Calphabets. So first, let me tell you, we did not think about that when we first started. The starting came from really simple idea, which we came out when we were doing another business, me and my co-founder, Tyler. We were doing English teaching or English confidence program in Korea, because we are in Korea. I'm living in Korea for the last 10 years, and we found out that Korean really wants to learn English, but the problem is, it's not that they cannot speak in English, it's that they don't have the confidence sometimes because they want to be perfect. So we created a space where we gather people and we play games in English, and they feel like, okay, yeah, English is fun, and they feel like comfortable with it. But in order to play games, we had to come up with the games, the new games. What can be the games? And we thought of, like, how about we play games with ABC biscuits, because it's English, and when we were young, it was really fun to play with it and learn from it. So we were thinking about it, and the first thing that came to our mind, does Korea have their own Korean alphabet biscuits? And that was a simple idea, and we looked it up, and nope, they did not have anything like that. They had jellies. You can see the jellies in the second picture, but the jellies are not that prominent, or you cannot see the shape of it, you cannot play with it. So it's like, how come Korea has everything? There are so many hunger products in Korea, but they don't have the biscuits. Why don't we make it? That was the simple idea. And both of us, we don't know how to bake. We don't know how to do it. The first thing was like, okay, let's ask people how to make it, or do they think this would work or not? We asked around. We talked to a lot of people, and they said the first reaction they had is, there is a reason why Korea does not have that, because people don't buy it. And the surprising reason they said is Koreans are not interested in Korean language sometimes to eat it. So we're like, okay, that's good, because we came up with the idea and nobody thinks it's going to work, so we can, if we make it big, we can literally make it so big. Let's try it out anyways, and we took the action, and we tried to talk to lots of OEM companies because we don't know how to bake. And when you go to the big factories, they are going to bury you with the MOQ and so much money, and you have to make in thousands or 10,000s of that, and we don't have money to do that. So the first thing we did is we learned from baking it ourselves by going to the one-day classes, and it's like, okay, please teach us how to make it. We burned a couple of those. You can see the black ones. Those are the burnt ones because we did not know how to make it, and we started from there. And as we go, we had to make the shapes, so we used 3D printing to do that. We talked to a couple of Korean companies how to make it. They really helped us to do that, and we finally came up with the product, how to make it, and we launched it on the Hunger Day, which is October 9th, 2023. Okay, now we have it. It was all handmade because we wanted to see, because everybody was saying it's not going to work out. I was like, okay, then we would try really small. We started with $4,000, and we just launched with the $4,000 that we had at that time. And slowly, we showed people, it's like, hey, we have this product, and we are trying to launch it. We are trying to see if you would like it. So we started testing events here and there, and people really loved it. And at that time, we were making it literally one by hand in ovens and packing it like that. So it was like a story that we were trying to share. At that time, that was our story. It's like we started from nothing with the idea, and this is how we came through. Then as we went by, people started loving it, and we had to increase the orders, and we had to find a way to make it mass-produced. So finally, we went to different places, OEMs. Again, now we can't order that many products. So we went from packaging, how to package it so that foreigners would understand it, but Koreans will also feel that it's there. The Korean feel is still there, and all of that. Finally, we had the product, and we launched it last year again with the mass-produced thing. But now if we go to our original story that I shared, that you have to have a story, a feeling, and experience, then who is our customer? We started asking people, who do you think our customer is? I will ask you the same. Who do you think would buy Korean alphabet snacks? Yes. That's the first response people give. And we were like, why children only? We eat snacks. I am an adult. I eat snacks. I eat so many snacks, like fried snacks, chips, this and that. Why only children can have it? That was our first question. And it's like, what are the values that we can give people so that they would feel that, okay, I can have it too. Oh, that's interesting. I should eat it on a regular basis, or again and again. So the first thing we did is we brought 15 friends of ours on a night and got some booze, because that might make them feel a little bit comfortable, and took all of our snacks and put in front of them, and just do nothing. It's like, okay, let's play, let's talk and everything. And we found really interesting thing that the adults started playing games. Korea has chosong game where you can play games with consonants. So they are like, okay, what are the words that you can think of? What are the things that you can do? And that's why we found like, okay, yeah, you can play with it. Even the adults can play with it. So we started, the first value we had is, let's play. With Korean snacks, you can have fun. You can use it for orientations. You can use it to ice-breaking on awkward dates when you don't know what to do. You would bring the snacks and you would do something, it's like, this is my name or something. And this is how we started. So I'm not sure how many of you can speak in Korean. So for those who can speak in Korean, what do you think this word is? 왜요? 보기 싫다일 수도 있잖아요. So this is 보고 싶다. That means I miss you. I want to see you. But in Korean word, you can also call it 보기 싫다. I don't want to see you. The same letters would sound both things. So it's kind of fun when you give it to people. It's like, oh yeah, that's a fun way of talking in Korean. For Koreans, that's fun. And for foreigners who are learning Korean, that's like, ooh, I did not know that. So it's a fun way of learning Korean language. So we started doing game nights because our friends loved the booze and playing with the snacks. So we did lots of game nights at different cafes. And that's where we found that, okay, people really like to do fun games with snacks. So this is our first value, that fun. Korean alphabets give fun experiences at different places. So we also started making games like this where people can play the puzzles or New York Times games. We also have lots of games on our website now that people can engage with when they are doing this. The second thing is creativity. So one of the kid, when we were selling, one of the kid really made an interesting picture with us this. It looks like a bicycle, right? And it was like, wow, you can do that? That means you can have the creativity in it. And in today's world where AI is becoming everything, last time when I was giving lecture, somebody asked me how to be creative. What would you say, how to be creative? How can you be creative? So they are asking AI, hey, how can I be creative? You cannot be creative by asking it to AI. It's like, how can I? You just have to try different things. So we are trying to give creativity using alphabets by making games. Again, it's like, okay, you can be creative like this. Try to make different things. Or maybe this. How about this? Or maybe you can find the way of explaining what you are doing. And this was one of the competition that we did with our customers last time, is like whoever would come up with the most exciting and interesting thing would win something. So this is another value that we found that we can give, maybe like creative experiences. So that was our second thing. And the last thing that we found, which was really cute, is convey your feelings. How can you convey? In the world where we say, I love you, 사랑해요, every day, but sometimes people forget to express them as well. So we had a customer review which said that I bought this alphabets for my kid, but he just got tired and he slept. So I was eating it with my husband. And after a long time, he said some really cute words using alphabets because he's an introvert. He does not say those things. And it was really cute, and it gave us a new connection. And it's like, oh, yeah, you can express your feelings. Like, you can tell whenever you have a birthday, you win something, or you got an anniversary or something, you can express your feelings using a new way of conveying your feelings. Or sometimes you can play with it again by, hey, I love you, hey, I'm sorry, or something like it. And the last one was, you can even cheer somebody on. So our thing is like, we are going to always give fun, creative, and expressive expressions, like a way to express your feelings through alphabets. So all of our events are always like, is it fun? Is it creative? Or does it let people express their feelings? And that's what we are trying to convey. In this thing, we found the 4 things that we always want to go with. The first thing, like, what did we learn? The first thing, there was a research which said there is 7 touch points. What is the 7 touch points? For a person, for a product, or anything, if you don't present yourself in 7 different ways to a person, they cannot remember you. If you want them to remember your name, you have to present yourself in at least 11 different ways or 11 touch points. So it cannot be one ad or one event, and you cannot ask people to remember yourself. So you have to be using social media, sometimes events, collaborations, newspapers, and different things. You have to have 7 touch points to make anybody remember yourself. So that's why if you're doing something, you have to try to do different things. And that's what we are trying to do. The second thing, the importance of collaboration, which I cannot emphasize enough, because in Korea, I don't see that many collaborations happening, and it's really hard to get people to partner or collaborate on anything. For example, we tried to collaborate with IKEA to do a pop-up over there, and we learned so much about their customers, and we had a really fun experience, and we are going to do it again. And in these collaborations, we got a new product that we collaborated on, and we are making goods of it for future collaborations, future selling point. Or we are also collaborated with the ice cream brand, where they are the 4th image in there, where they made a special ice cream flavor for us for the 2 weeks. And that was a really hit because all of our customers and their customers found it really new way of communicating and feeling a different experience. So try to find different collaborations is another thing that we live by and we try to do all the time. And the third thing is learning. So I'm a really perfectionist, and I really want to make everything perfect, and this is where I think I kind of had a really hard time doing this. It's like, when I do something, I want it to be perfect, and I want to have the good results. But when I do that, you are always afraid of failing, so whenever you see one thing going wrong, it's like, what should I do now? No. The one thing we learned is, like, if you want to have some new ideas, if you want to try something new, you have to try it, you have to fail it, and then learn from it and do it all over again. So it's going to be the loop, but if you are not open to the loop, you are never going to find the new opportunities, the new ways of doing something. And you have to have the loop all the time. And the last thing is, people don't remember the result. People remember the process. If I tell you, this is a top made in India, would you remember it? No, but if I tell you, this top that I'm wearing, it was hand woven by a disabled person in India using the cotton that was made in or grew in her own farm, the small farm that she was doing, and I'm wearing this. Yes, you would remember that because it's a story. It makes you feel connected. So people never remember a result, people always remember the process. So try to show your process, and then you will see how people will connect with you and have that experience together. So next time or tomorrow when you go to the work, maybe the one question that I want you to think, like, are we selling a product or are we selling a brand? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation. It was Miss Nidhi Agrawal talking to us about her unique brand, which is the Hangul snack. Yes, well, adults also can eat snack, indeed. And now we're going to move on to the next in our agenda, which is the global IR pitching. So this is going to be a session where the innovative Korean startups and the promising startups from overseas are going to pitch their ideas. 4 teams will be presenting a 10-minute pitch each, showcasing the challenges as well as the global initiative capabilities of the K-startups. As they are to share the visions and the innovations directly on the stage, we ask for your warm support and attention as well. Now, the first company that is going to give the pitch is the Robotics. Let's welcome the CEO Kang Dong-woo to the stage with a big round of applause.
네, 반갑습니다. 더 로보틱스의 강동우입니다. 영어로 준비를 할까 하다가 더 많은 전달력을 위해서 통역을 믿고 저는 그러면 제가 하던 페이스대로 한번 진행해 보겠습니다. 농업용 자율주행 로봇입니다. 고령화 문제 이미 우리나라에선 정말 심각하고요. 해외라고 해서 다를 게 없습니다. 인구가 많고 또 인건비가 저렴한 나라에서도 대부분의 사람들은 전부 도시로 유출이 되지 농가에서는 사람이 계속 고령화되어 가고 있습니다. 그러다 보니 이 1차 산업이라고 하죠. 이런 식량 안보 등을 위해서 각 국가별로 이런 스마트팜 사업들을 계속 키워나가고 있습니다만 아직까지 스마트팜은 5%에 머물러 있습니다. 대부분 노지라는 거죠. 노지 중에서도 트랙터나 이안기 등을 활용해서 움직일 수 있는 솔루션들은 이미 기계화가 많이 진행이 됐지만 아직까지 밭에서 사람이 직접 일하는 영역은 31% 이상 남아 있습니다. 그럼 이 필드에 사람을 대체하거나 보조할 수 있는 것에 우리는 두 가지 선택지가 있습니다. 하이테크, 딥테크를 넣어서 완벽한 웰메이드한 로봇으로 사람을 완벽히 대체한다와 사람과 함께 일하는 협동 로봇으로 적당한 수준의 로봇을 만들어서 사람과 함께 생산을 해내는 이 두 가지의 선택지가 남아 있죠. 우리는 어떤 것을 선택했을까요? 저희는 사람과 함께 일하는 협동 로봇을 준비했습니다. 원래 영상이 있지만 제가 말씀으로 한번 드리겠습니다. 농민들은 과수원에서 이 로봇을 과일을 따기 위해 움직입니다. 이 로봇은 이 농민을 자동으로 따라오게 되고요. 그럼 따는 건 사람이 따더라도 이 뒤에 있는 로봇이 이 과일 작물들을 받아주게 됩니다. 그리고 중앙으로 복귀를 누르면 다시 원래 위치로 돌아가면서 이 과수원의 AGV, 과수원의 이 물류 로봇, 서빙 로봇이라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 실제로 이렇게 일을 하게 됐을 때 인건비는 약 70% 그리고 생산량은 30% 정도 늘어나는 것을 확인할 수 있었죠. 기술 얘기 살짝 하겠습니다. 험한 농가에서는 카메라나 라이다, GPS가 제대로 움직이지 않습니다. 또한 땅이 울퉁불퉁하면 오히려 오차를 많이 발생하기 쉽죠. 특히나 한국에서는 여름에는 영상 40도, 겨울에는 영하 20도까지 내려가는 굉장한 극한의 환경에 있습니다. 이럴 때에도 잔고장이 없을 수 있도록 UWB라는 전파를 활용한 자율주행 알고리즘을 만들었습니다. UWB 전파를 사용해서 야간에도 장애물이 많아도 충분히 사람을 따라다니고 자율주행할 수 있는 소프트웨어입니다. 그리고 장애물 회피에 대한 기술도 저희가 가지고 있습니다. 이렇게 질문해 보겠습니다. 이 직경이 40mm의 파이프와 나뭇가지를 구별해서 파이프에는 멈춰야 되고 나뭇가지는 밟고 지나가야 합니다. 이런 것을 카메라로 AI로 판단을 하게 된다면 굉장히 오랜 연산 시간이 필요하고 그리고 아까 말씀드렸던 척박한 환경에서 오류나 고장 확률을 높이게 됩니다. 이런 부분들에 대한 장애물 회피 기술들도 저희가 인공지능을 통해 학습을 해서 계속 개발이 되어지고 있습니다. 또한 매핑 기술도 살짝 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 주변의 지형 지물을 활용해서 이 로봇이 어디에 있는지를 로봇이 알아야 하는데 문제는 농장이 전부 다 똑같이 생겼다는 겁니다. 앞에도 풀, 옆에도 풀, 오른쪽에도 나무. 이런 환경에서 지금 맵을 잘 그리고 이 로봇이 어디에 있는지를 맞추는 알고리즘도 저희가 자체 개발했습니다. 저희는 이 로봇을 렌탈을 하면서 쓰고 있습니다. 아무래도 로봇이다 보니까 이 농가들이 직접적인 장비 구입에 부담스러운 분들이 저희 로봇을 받아다가 일주일씩 한 달씩 농작기에만 렌탈을 해서 쓰고 있죠. 한 1,300시간 정도 사용을 해가면서 재사용률이 한 40% 정도에 이르렀고요. 각 지역에 있는 지역 대리점과 농기계 업체들에 저희들 로봇을 맡겨놓고 이 렌탈과 판매를 함께 병행하고 있습니다. 현재 양산은 준비가 되어 있습니다. 한 달에 한 100여 대 정도씩 양산이 되어 있고 여기 있는 제주도에 있는 센터와 대전에 있는 센터에서 전국을 커버하고 있습니다. 그리고 그 이후에는 로봇의 파운드리 산업으로 계속 커가고 있습니다. 각 곳곳에 필요한 니치한 로봇들이 또는 기계들이 있습니다. 우리 농장에는 200kg이 필요하지만 옆에 농장은 400kg이 필요할 수 있고요. 옆에는 조금 더 작은 게 필요할 수 있고 또 옆에는 리프트, 덤프가 필요할 수 있습니다. 이 모든 수요들을 맞춰서 로봇들을 다 생산하기에는 굉장히 어려움이 많이 있습니다. 그러다 보니 저희는 이 자율주행할 수 있는 모듈만을 만들어서 일반 상용되고 있는 농기계에 부착을 하면 이 농기계가 로봇이 되어지는 기술을 계속 개발해 나가고 있습니다. 이렇게 되면 전동형으로 움직이는 모든 모빌리티에 로봇으로 전환하는 로봇 전환의 핵심 기술로 작용하게 될 것입니다. 이에 대한 B2B나 B2G에 대한 파트너사들도 계속 산재해 있고요. 특별히 저희는 현재 일본과 대만, 중국, 우즈베키스탄에 수출을 하고 있습니다. 이렇게 가능했던 이유는 두 가지인데요. 하나는 저희들의 인터페이스, 로봇의 인터페이스가 70세 이상의 농민들도 사용할 수 있도록 만들어졌기 때문에 해외에 나가도 언어를 몰라도 바로 작동이 가능하도록 심플하게 만들어졌다는 장점 덕분에 수출이 빨랐습니다. 그리고 두 번째로는 저희는 네트워킹을 로컬망을 사용하기 때문에 굳이 우리의 엔지니어가 가서 현지 환경의 네트워크를 바꾸고 이것들을 AS를 계속 모니터링해야 되는 시스템 없이 기존의 농기계 회사에게 로봇을 넘기면 바로 작동이 가능하도록 만들어졌습니다. 그래서 현재 일본에서는 한 1000여 대, 그리고 중국에서는 한 2000여 대 정도의 지금 수요가 들어와 있는 상태고요. 우리나라에서만 1년에 약 1만 대, 중국에서는 약 12만 대 정도, 한 지역에서만 12만 대 정도의 수요를 좀 기대하고 있습니다. 이렇게 계속 성장을 해나가고 있는 회사고요. 특별히 유럽에 있는 와이너리라던가 아니면 다른 통신이 터지지 않는 험한 지역들, 산악 지역들, 갯벌 이런 부분들에 대해서 계속 글로벌 확장을 진행하고 있는 중입니다. 저희 팀은 카이스트에서 창업을 했습니다. 카이스트의 기술력을 원래는 현대자동차나 수자원공사나 삼성전자에 있는 공장에 SI로 로봇을 납품하던 기술들을 모아서 이 농업용으로 만드는 로봇들을 개발하게 되었고요. 특별히 이런 어떤 환경에서도 바로 적합하게 로봇을 바꿀 수 있는 실무진들이 있습니다. 또한 농업에 대해서는 제가 직접 농사를 지으면서 얻은 노하우를 가지고 만든 로봇이라 진짜 농민이 필요한 로봇이 무엇인지를 너무나도 잘 알고 만든 로봇입니다. 글로벌로 계속 나가고 있습니다. 현재는 중국, 일본, 대만, 동아시아에 걸쳐 있지만 그 이상에 있는 나라의 파트너사들과 투자사들을 찾고 있습니다. 진짜 농민들이 필요한 로봇, 각 현장에 맞는 로봇을 보급할 파트너사 밖에 있는 부스에 있으니 언제든 찾아와 주십시오. 감사합니다.
Yes, thank you very much, CEO Kang Dong-woo of the Robotics for your presentations. Yes, the agricultural robot that is waiting for you outside the hall. And now we're going to begin our second presentation, which will be delivered by the Retinal Incorporation. Let us welcome CEO Kim Jae-hyuk to the stage with a big round of applause.
여기서 하겠습니다. 안녕하십니까. 만나서 반갑습니다. 레티널의 김재혁입니다. 최근에 AI 회사들이 돈을 굉장히 많이 벌고 있습니다. 인프라부터 시작해서 점점 더 많은 서비스 레이어로 올라가고 있는 게 현재 상황이고, 특히 큰 기업들은 이 AI가 어떻게 유저에게 전달될지에 대해서 굉장히 많은 고민들을 하고 있습니다. 그리고 그런 기업들은 스마트 글래스가 미래가 될 거다라고 얘기합니다. 왜냐하면 내가 바라보고 내가 듣는 것을 함께 할 수 있기 때문에 AI에 가장 적합한 인터페이스가 스마트 글래스가 될 것이라 라고 얘기하고 있습니다. 실제로 애플, 구글, 메타 모두 다 AI 기존에 있는 스마트폰에서 AI 디바이스로 변화할 거다라고 얘기를 하고 있고요. 대표적으로 애플 같은 경우는 비전 프로를 냈고 이제 27년에는 어떤 글래스를 낼지 이런 것들이 계속 발표가 되고 있습니다. 구글 같은 경우는 올해 5월에 I/O에서 이제 AI 글래스를 발표를 하셨었고요. 메타 같은 경우는 조금 더 먼저 시작을 해서 레이반 글래스 같은 경우 이미 시장에 350만 대 정도가 판매가 되었고 올해까지 해서 500만 대 이상을 판매한다고 합니다. 최근에는 이런 스마트 글래스를 쓰면 원래 안경을 벗으려고 했던 사람이 다시 쓰겠냐라는 고민이 있었는데, 그런 부분들을 해결하기 위해서 젠틀몬스터나 아니면 에슬로 루소티카 같은 소비자 브랜드 안경 회사들에게 투자를 함으로써 이런 문제들까지 해결해 나가고 있습니다. 그러면 이 시장의 문제가 뭘까라고 했을 때, 사실 스마트 글래스는 대부분의 스마트워치 또는 폰과 굉장히 유사한 부품들을 쓰고 있습니다. 다만 이 옵틱만큼은 처음 했던 고민들이고, 어떻게 보면 눈에 가까운 디스플레이를 만들다 보니까 어떻게 해야 될지 아직은 고도화되고 표준화되지 못해 있는 상황입니다. 특히나 이 부분들이 워낙 비싼 부품들이 될 수밖에 없다 보니까 전체 원가에서 평균적으로 40% 정도, 한 80%까지 가는 경우들도 있습니다. 그래서 이 부분의 문제를 해결하고자 저는 사업을 시작을 했고요. 그럼 여기에 어떤 문제들이 있을까 보면, 결국에는 무겁고 안경같이 생기지 않았고 배터리 소모량이 너무 많고 그리고 가격까지 비싼 그런 이슈들을 가지고 있습니다. 저는 그 일식을 보면서 저희 제품을 개발하게 됐습니다. 보시면 저기 보이는 게 해고, 그 다음에 달이 이것을 가리는 겁니다. 흔히 이클립스라고 얘기를 하는데, 이 현상을 관찰할 때 사람들은 다들 하늘을 보고 있었습니다. 그래서 하늘을 보면서 이 모양을 보시는 것인데, 저희 같은 경우는 바닥에 있는 그림자를 보았고, 보시면 여기 생겨 있는 이 그림자들이 나뭇잎 사이사이에 있는 구멍들을 통과한 이미지들을 통해서 초승달 모양을 바닥에 찍고 있는 부분입니다. 근데 특히 저희는 여기서 이렇게 움직이고 좀 반대로 되어 있는 그림자를 발견하게 되었고요. 이걸 보면서 핀홀이 아니라 핀 미러에서도, 우리가 가지고 있는 작은 반사체에서도 같은 현상이 일어날 수 있구나라는 것을 깨닫게 되었습니다. 그래서 저희는 이 부분을 스마트 글래스에다 적용하면 기존의 문제를 좀 해결할 수 있을 것이다 라고 생각을 했습니다. 실제로 그렇게 핀 미러라는 제품을 처음 만들게 되었고요. 근데 보시면은 뭐 여러 가지 좋지만 화면이 작다라는 이슈가 있었습니다. 그래서 이걸 어떻게 키울까 고민을 하다가 이런 일반적인 배치로는 어렵고 이에 걸맞는 배치를 저희가 개발을 하게 되었고, 그것이 저희의 현재에 있는 핀 틸트라는 구조가 되게 되었습니다. 그래서 저희 핀 틸트 구조는 기존의 스마트 글래스들이 해결하지 못한 여러 문제들을 해결하고 있습니다. 그래서 기존 제품에 비해서 한 2.5배 정도 더 넓은 화면, 그리고 55% 정도 더 가벼운 무게, 그리고 6배 이상 오래 갈 수 있는 배터리 소모량을 갖추고 있습니다. 기존 시장에 버드베스, 웨이브 가이드라는 기술들도 있었는데요. 결국에 이런 기술들로 만든 것들이, 버드베스 같은 경우는 일반 안경과는 조금 다르게 20mm 이상의 두께들을 가진 제품이 된다라는 아쉬움이 있고, 웨이브 가이드는 색상이 뚜렷하지 못하고, 그 다음에 저렇게 만든다고 하더라도 배터리가 한 30분이면 다 닳는다는 그런 이슈들을 가지고 있습니다. 저희가 만든 제품 같은 경우는 보시는 바와 같이 화면도 깔끔하게 나오고 안경 자체도 2시간 이상 갈 수 있는 제품들을 만들 수가 있었습니다. 그래서 실제로 고객사에서 만들면 이를 비교해서 봤을 때 배터리와 광학 때문에 안경의 디자인이 이렇게 바뀔 수밖에 없다라는 제약사항들을 광학 솔루션이 가지고 있습니다. 그래서 저희 고객사에서 3시간 이상 연속 영상 재생 시간을 기준으로 했을 때 만든 제품들입니다. 그래서 저희 제품 같은 경우는 이런 형태로 착용해서 바로 보실 수가 있고요. 실제로 보면 어떤지라고 했을 때 여기 앞에 전시가 되어 있는데, 이렇게 멀리서 보면 그냥 일반 안경 같지만 가까이 가면 이런 형태로 이미지를 보실 수가 있게 되고요. 그래서 가상의 넓은 화면이 내 눈앞에 펼쳐지게 됩니다. 그리고 저희는 기본적으로 이걸 플라스틱으로 만들고 있습니다. 저희 경쟁사보다 더 낮은 톨러런스 덕분에 가능한 일인데, 이렇기 때문에 양산성도 굉장히 높게 가져갈 수가 있게 되었고, 이런 부분들이 저희가 많은 곳에서 수상을 받을 수 있었던 부분입니다. 결국에는 국내뿐만이 아니라 해외에서도 저희 사업들에 대해서, 기술들에 대해서 인정을 받아왔고, 이건 저희가 코스트 이피션트 부분에서도 그리고 퍼포먼스 부분에서도 독특한 포지션을 가지고 있기 때문에 가능한 일이었습니다. 스마트 글래스 시장이 클 거다라는 부분들은 많은 기업들이 기대하고 바라보고 있는 지점이고요. 저희의 주 고객들은 현재 실리콘밸리에 있는 빅테크들, 그리고 스마트 글래스를 만들고자 하는 제조사들, 또한 스마트폰을 만들어 온 제조사들이 저희의 주 고객이 되겠습니다. 그래서 저희가 진행했던 케이스들 공개적으로 말씀드릴 수 있는 부분들은 보시는 바와 같고요. 그래서 AT&T의 헬멧, NTT 도코모에서 만든 산업용 글래스, 그리고 노트북 브랜드 도시바의 노트북 브랜드에서 만든 다이나 엣지라는 제품 등이 있습니다. 그래서 저희가 글로벌하게 이 사업을 할 것 같은 대부분의 기업과는 NDA가 되어 있고, 저희가 누적으로는 약 15,000개 정도의 제품들이 현재까지 나가서 저희 고객사에서 안경 형태로 만들어서 제품을 만들어 왔습니다. 이거 같은 경우는 AT&T에서 진행했던 사례고요. 겔 가도시라는 대학교, 청인 대학교입니다. 그래서 소리를 듣지 못하시는 분들이지만 안에 미식 축구팀이 있습니다. 그래서 그 미식 축구팀에서 작전 지시를 듣지는 못하지만 이걸 볼 수 있게 하면 어떨까라는 니즈에서 이런 헬멧을 만들었고, 이런 헬멧이 미국 전역에 이제 방송되면서 홍보되었던, 저희로선 되게 의미 있던 사례였습니다. 일본에서 출시한 미르자 같은 경우는 조금 더 산업용에 치중되어 있습니다. NTT 도코모에서 이제 제품을 만들었고, 그래서 산업 현장에서 그리고 내가 일상에서 실시간 통역이라든가 아니면 필요한 정보들을 그 즉시 볼 수 있는 그런 형태의 제품을 출시하였습니다. 다이나 엣지 같은 경우는 내가 노트북을 가지고 있으면 보조 모니터 같은 것을 크게 키우잖아요. 아니면 따로 들고 다니거나 이런 부분들을 안경으로 들고 다니면 내 노트북에 안경만 꽂으면 화면이 두세 개 더 볼 수 있는 그런 형태의 제품이 되겠습니다. 그래서 저희는 2016년부터 이런 스마트 글래스에 관련된 부분들에 집중을 해왔고, 그런 것들이 22년부터 양산을 시작해서 현재까지 이어지고 있습니다. 그래서 누적으로는 340억 정도의 투자를 유치해왔고, 특허로는 100여 개 이상 등록, 200개 이상 출원이 되어 있는 상황이고 57명이서 개발을 진행하고 있고요. 현재 프리 IPO 라운드를 진행하고 있습니다. 혹시나 관심이 있다면 저희 부스에 들러서 확인해 주시면 좋겠습니다. 그래서 저희는 이 사업을 통해서 인류가 세상을 보는 방식을 바꾸고, 그래서 그런 것들을 저희의 핀 틸트 기술로 AR 글래스로 세상을 바꾸겠다라고 말씀을 드리고, 최근에는 이것이 이제 AI 글래스로 우리의 일상을 바꿔보겠다라고 말씀을 드립니다. 이상으로 발표를 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, CEO Kim Jae-hyuk of the Latin AR for the presentation. They're going to change how people view the world with their glasses. Yes, as mentioned, the robotics and Latin AR, there are products or their idea are being showcased at the K Startup Street Exhibition. So please make sure to make a visit and get to know the further details of each item. And now it's time for us to invite the overseas companies who are here with us and who have visited the APAC 2025. As much as you've come afar, it's the moment to get the meaning of the global cooperation and exchange. So first of all, we're going to invite to the stage the company called Polymerase. Let's welcome the Polymerase with a big round of applause.
Annyeonghaseyo. Hello, everyone. Super honored to be back on the stage. Excuse me for my voice. It's almost a year now since we participated at KSGC, and very lucky and I'm grateful for the opportunity to win the award. And I would love to talk more about how our journey has been since then. But before that, let's quickly talk about what Polymerase is all about. Great presentation by two of the earlier startups. They spoke about the AR, they spoke about the bots. Fundamentally, all of this is related to how the materials are at the backbone. You won't be able to make a very high quality, high property glass without having a very strong material. It's the same thing with the robots, because when you're trying to increase the load and decrease the friction and increase your efficiency, you need a better materials. Fundamentally, chemical industry, material industry has been plagued by inefficiencies in technology. Back in 2020, my co-founder and CTO, Dr. Abhijit, and I, we met in Singapore. We identified that there are underlying challenges in the chemical industry that needs to be solved through digitalization. AI was not even that important at that time. And that's when we started the company to help chemicals and materials companies become much more efficient, innovate faster at 10 times the speed. Today, as we are speaking, we are a Series A plus funded company. We raised in total about $9.5 million. We are a 50 plus team member across Japan, South Korea, China, India, Singapore, Qatar. So what we are doing at Polymerize. So typically, any product development process that we take in account, there's a lot of variable set that they have to optimize. So the researchers will take a set of batches of chemicals, they'll go to the lab, perform the experiments, and they'll keep repeating till the properties are met. So it's the same thing like how we used to do our chemistry lab in high school, and how we cook food at home is just a recipe. The irony is that for billions of dollars of companies, they still rely heavily on the single variable optimization. So if the objectives are not met, they'll go back to the lab, they'll change one variable at a time from 0.4 to 0.5, and they'll repeat the process. What we discovered, invented, the idea was that can we infuse the metadata into our machine learning models and make it much more efficient? So in a world where polymerized companies are not there, companies are doing hundreds and 200s of trials. With polymerized companies are able to reduce that to 10 to 20 trials. Today we are working with over 50 to 80 plus clients, and total number of users are about 1,500 plus users across multiple regions. We are focused heavily on the entire polymer supply chain, but also at the peripheral. So from raw material manufacturers to OEMs, including semiconductors, battery materials, cosmetics, we cover all. So our platform is an integrated data management plus AI layer on top of it, which makes sure that the models are able to orchestrate the values in the right way. So even if the data set is really low, for example, some of the cases that we have handled, the data sets are like 18, 20 data points. And with the usual AI modeling approaches, those will not work. So we've identified multimodal analysis and also the metadata modeling approaches through which we are able to provide higher accuracy on our platform. So we provide two products. One is a Polymerized Labs, which is the flagship product integrated with data management and AI. And the other one is just the data management called Polymerized Connect. So some of the screenshots of our platform here, you'll be able to see the analysis part. One part is how you are making a collaborative data management layer where all the researchers are working together. The other part is where they are doing the analysis. Very simple use case was one of the researchers actually came back and said that we ended up repeating the same experiment that the other teams had repeated because they did not know that these experiments have been repeated. That in total cost about more than upside of $300 million from just looking at the mid-market segment. We are not even talking about a very large enterprise customers. So these are some of the analysis that we continue to do, the researchers continue to do on our platform. Through our platform, using these analyses, they are able to reduce from 40 minutes of analysis without Polymerize to 2 minutes to analysis. So on an average, we are saving about 15 to 20 hours per researcher per week. This is our core engine, which includes some of the historical data set that's coming in from the customer side, our own proprietary data sets, research associations that we have, and then we feed that into our proprietary domain machine learning models, and we get the outcomes. So maybe I can spend a couple of seconds on this. So two game-changing features that we have on the platform is properties prediction and the formulation prediction. So properties prediction means like, imagine before even you go to the kitchen and you put the recipe into a cooking pot, we can tell you what the properties would look like, what the food will look like. So today, if they had to do this, they are going to do 5 experiments and then repeating, going to the lab and so on. But with our platform, they are able to simulate hundreds of trials together in one go. So which is significantly saving a lot of time for them. The experiment design is more like, you can go to ChatGPT, you can say that, hey, give me a recipe for optimizing on tensile strength and elongation and break, and our platform designs a whole set of recipe for you, right from what ingredients to be used, in what proportions, what should be the processing conditions, and what will be the properties. We recently launched Polymerize One, which is a full stack modeling service, which includes software, data, compute, and also lab scale prototyping. Now, maybe I'll take a couple of minutes to talk about the challenges that we are seeing in the Korean chemical industry. Korean chemical industry is pretty big, 158 billion in terms of the market size, with and ranked at about 5th in the world. Currently, across the globe, the economics for the chemical industry is actually shrinking with the with all the catastrophe that's going on with supply chain disruption, carbon and sustainability, where more carbon footprints are required, financial stress that's going on with the companies in terms of supply chain disruption, and also the demand for the new products is rapidly changing. So Korea so far has been relying heavily on the petrochemical business, but we think that now we are seeing the trend that a lot of companies are moving into highly functional polymers, more into semiconductors, more into batteries, etc. So we think that together with AI initiatives that the government is taking, we can radically change and transform and increase the margins for the chemical industry in Korea. Some of the government's initiative that we are very fortunate to be in Korea at this point of time is one, the physical AI integration, which the government recently launched, integrating through all the 7 sectors. And we believe that the top-down approach that the government is taking will definitely help in a holistic way, which means that supporting the startup ecosystem and also supporting the industry to be able to utilize such technologies. Very grateful for the KSGC support and also the Global Startup Program for the commercialization grant that we received. We also participated in the dedicated deep tech startup funds, etc. And our outlook towards 2026 is the smart manufacturing innovation, where we are hopeful that we will be able to participate with a lot more companies in Korea. Since last 1 year, participating in KSGC, our team has grown rapidly in Korea. We are about 12 people on board. And these are our team members with Ingyo on the top. She is our country manager. This has been our traction. When we started, we were about 250K. We are hopeful to end about, this year, end about 1.25 million just from Korea alone. And we are on a very strong runway at this point of time. So really looking forward for the opportunities to partner with the large chemical companies, mid-market as well. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Yes, that was Polymerize. Thank you very much for the presentation. And we have one more overseas startup that has joined us today. And with your applauses, we're going to welcome Cosmetrics. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I'm Miguel Suarez, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cosmetrics. And I was also very lucky to be part of the batch 2023 of the K Startup Grand Challenge. And in the next few minutes, I will show you how we are helping Korean beauty brands reach their next 600 million consumers. And by this, I mean that that's about the population size in Latin America, which is very large, not only in terms of the population, but also in terms of the beauty market size, which is estimated at $67 billion. So as you can see here, this is the breakdown of the market. Brazil and Mexico are leading the charts, but also Chile, Peru, and Colombia are growing very fast, especially because there is a free trade agreement with Korea, which is boosting the K-beauty in this region. So big market also comes with many big challenges as well. So actually, despite being a very big market, many companies haven't successfully reached this market because first they have a lot of reliance on third-party and intermediaries. For example, there is many wholesalers that distribute products all over the world. But this comes with a lot of problems, which is like there is no market control, prices are going down, and this can have a very negative impact on the K-beauty industry overseas. Also, big problem, Latin America has around 33 different countries. Luckily, we all speak the same language, well, except for Brazil, which is the outlier. But besides that, every country has their own policies and regulations, which make it very, very challenging to enter these markets. So based on all this knowledge, we developed our business model. So we have broken it down into 3 phases. The phase 1 is actually helping beauty brands to establish a distribution network in Latin America. So there is basically 3 ways, well, 2 ways that companies go global these days, and a 3rd way that we are proposing. So the first one is independent expansion. So basically, this is when the brands go directly to each of the markets. But of course, this will take a lot of capital, a lot of knowledge of the market, and not many companies have been actually be able to do this successfully. Actually, some of the companies that have ventured to enter the Latin American market by themselves is Tony Moly and Misha, which may have a few stores, but we cannot tell whether this has been a successful expansion or not. And even brands or companies, conglomerates like Amore Pacific, are very interested in entering Latin American market, but perhaps they don't know how to. The second way, and this is the most prominent way that Latin American market has been developed, which is through wholesalers. So basically, wholesalers purchase products from all the brands existing in the Korean market, and they start exporting everywhere. The good thing is that you have fastest market entry. However, you basically lose control over your brand. Many brands have no idea where the products are being sold, and they may end up in very unofficial channels or in the gray market, which can really damage the reputation of the Korean beauty industry. So we developed a 3rd way of expansion, which is partnering with cosmetics. So we have developed around a network of around 34 different distributors in 14 countries in Latin America who are interested in working directly with the Korean companies. And we are helping the brands to enter directly. And not only just by connecting them with distributors, but also by following and helping them with all the regulations in order to enter successfully the market. For example, labeling is very important, sanitary registration, and this is very important to maintain a sustainable business in the future. So we have done some successful cases. So from here, like from connection to negotiation, everything is done, and we are helping throughout the process. And we have even managed to build these kind of stores in Latin America, which is a very big step forward for the K-beauty industry. So the second stage, okay, so once you have your distribution network in place, what's next? Of course, you need to let consumers know where they can actually purchase the product. So we need to boost the K-beauty industry. So that's why we developed a platform where consumers can very easily find where to buy the products. Now that they are available in the market, now we can say, okay, if I'm from Chile, I can purchase the products in these distributors. And we can show who are the official distributors in Latin America. And of course, once people know where they are, we need to boost and we need to really push the awareness of the K-beauty industry through content with influencers and content creators in order to grow the industry in these markets. And after that, there is the 3rd phase, which is, okay, once you have distribution, once you have the awareness, then you need to actually be able to track the performance of your brand in the markets. So we have developed a dashboard where we actually allow the brands so they can have more visibility, analytics of the brands in these markets. So we turn all the data that we collect from the market, we turn it into valuable data so business can do much better informed decisions about the business and see which products are performing much better in which markets, as well as maybe tracking the pricing so they make sure that nobody's undercutting their competitors. And with this, we have created a feedback loop which will fuel our growth in the coming years. So the more demand for the K-beauty, then the more sales, the more money they can invest on marketing, and the more awareness it will create, and this will fuel the growth of the K-beauty. So we have 3 revenue streams so far. So the first one is from the revenue share that we bring from our partners every time they order from our partner brands here in Korea. The second one is through marketing services, also pushing the K-beauty through content creators in Latin America. And the third one is through the access fee to these analytics, so brands can actually see how they are performing in Latin America. So as I mentioned, I was very lucky to be part of the 2023 KSGC, and since then we have built around 110 partnerships here in Korea. So we have worked with from indie brands to bigger brands that are very well known in the overseas markets. And from last year, like from 2024 to 2025, we have reached like around 390 growth from last year to this year. So we are actually reaching the 2 million export benchmark right now. So we are very happy with the growth, and we are expected to keep growing in this way in the coming years. So these are some of our partner brands that we're working with. But as I mentioned, we are like month by month, we are working with more and more companies because Latin America is such a big market, but unfortunately, not many companies have been able to actually successfully enter this market. So we are expanding very fast in the partnerships that we're building. And we are also very happy because government agencies like COTRA, which is in charge of all the exports, fostering the exports to the global markets, is also very interested in working in this way because we are boosting part of the economy of Korea, which is the K-beauty. And we are working with COTRA Argentina, COTRA Mexico, COTRA Ecuador, and they're really interested in continue to boost the K-beauty market in Latin America. Also, I was very lucky to also Amore Pacific interview me because they wanted to have more knowledge of how the beauty industry is working in Latin America because they see the potential of this region. And we are very happy that we are able to help with this. And we started, of course, with a very small team. We still remain in a very small team because our model actually allows us to operate very lean. So we have been able to achieve this with a very few people, but we can still have a long way to go with this team. So who is ready to build the foundation of the K-beauty industry in Latin America? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the inspiring talk. That was Cosmetric that is ready to enter the Latin America market. Well, with that, we have listened to all 4 presentations that has been prepared for you today. We hope to see the domestic and the global startup scene really lead into greater investment and partnership, becoming a springboard for the K startups. And well, thank you very much for being here with us. And with this, we're going to conclude the joint opening ceremony of the Global Startup Day here in Jeju. Well, we have witnessed all the challenges and the potential for the innovation and also the global reach that defines what K startup is, with all the government, institutions, investors, and global partners that who have joined today as all the companions. We'll look forward for all the startups to make a bold leap forward into the future. With that, we're going to conclude the joint opening ceremony for the Global Startup Day here in Jeju. Why don't we end with a big round of applause? Thank you. And of course, I have some few announcements for you. We're going to have the Challenge K Startup 2025 Integrated Finals Kickoff will be held here at 1 o'clock. So please, those who are to join us for the K Startup Challenge, meet us here in the Hala room. And please, as you exit the hall, make sure to bring all of your personal belongings with you. And of course, outside the venue, as mentioned, we have the K-Startup Street Exhibition Zone, which is a joint exhibition space for the Challenge K-Startup and the Global Challenge introduced earlier. Make sure to make a visit and have a networking opportunity with other participants. And also those who join us for the business matching program that is currently taking place at room 304. Participants are asked to proceed to the hall right after the session. So the business matching program is held in room 304. And with this, we're going to fully end the joint opening ceremony. Thank you very much. 네, 1시부터 시작되는 K-챌린지 킥오프 때 리그별 세레머니를 진행합니다. 리그별 세레머니 함께 해주시는 분들께서는 12시 50분까지 이곳 한라홀에 착석해 주시면 감사드리겠습니다. 다시 한번 안내드리겠습니다. 저희 1시부터 진행되는 K-챌린지 킥오프 리그별 세레머니 함께 해주시는 분들께서는 12시 50분까지 이곳 한라홀에 착석해 주시기 바랍니다. 고맙습니다.